Hello everyone, welcome back. It is the evening of March 31st, 2021, and this is an exciting video. I just received my order from Cummins Nursery today, so I thought I would unbox it. There's going to be two rootstocks, two Bud-9 rootstocks in here, a green Gage Plum, and an Apricot. So this is going to be fun. I thought I would kind of bring you along. So our weather is a little wild here. Yesterday it was 60, almost 70 degrees. Tomorrow we're supposed to get several inches of snow, and then this weekend I'll be back in the 50s and 60s. So I'm going to open these up, kind of inspect them, check them out a little bit, and then they're going to go in just a bin of potting soil for right now just to keep them moist, and we'll plant them out this weekend. So let's take a look at the box here. You can see how these trees are packaged, pretty standard with the big staples. So let's see how these did. I wasn't expecting them quite so soon. These boxes are sturdy. Okay. So this is, let me get this out of the way. This is how they come packaged. So the roots are wrapped up, as you can see there. And then you have the trees that are bare root. So let's take a look at these. As I said, there's two Bud-9 rootstocks. So what I'm going to do with those is put them in a container and graft a couple of varieties to them, kind of make container apples out of them. So I'm just going to carefully remove these from the box. Really nicely packed. I've ordered from most of the things in our yard. Most of the trees in our yard have come from Cummins Nursery. I highly recommend them. They're a great source. I like them because they're in New York State. They're in central New York, near Ithaca. And what's really cool about that is these things were grown in New York, so I know they're kind of hardy and ready for our weather that we get here, which can be kind of wild. So this is kind of fun. I've never grown plums or apricots. My only real stone fruit, I have pawpaws. I have a couple cherry trees that are 3 or 4 years old. They're probably about to get some fruit this year, hopefully. But I've never grown plums or apricots. So this is kind of new. This will be fun. We actually bought another plum from a big box store as well. But here's how they're wrapped. They do a really good job of protecting these roots. These are bare roots. There's not going to be any dirt on them. They usually pack sawdust in there. I assume that's what these will be like. So we'll open it up. But like I said, Cummins Nursery, their stuff is really good quality. Almost every tree we have came from them. My other apples came from trees of antiquity, some of the ones that are just really rare and hard to get. But almost all of them that you see in my videos came from Cummins. I'm just trying to be careful opening this so I don't hurt the roots. There we go. You can kind of see in there. Sort of breaking it rather than cutting it. That way I can feel if I'm going to hurt something. So there's our root ball for everybody. And they're sort of tied together with this yellow or this orange string. So we'll snip that. Oops. So we'll snip the orange string. Just kind of bundling everything together. But definitely, if you're looking for trees, Cummins Nursery, and especially if you're in a cold weather area in the Northeast, these are, being that they're grown here in New York State and raised on their farm, you know they're going to be okay. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over. Snip here. This is just the string holding everybody together. Okay. We'll take a look at these trees. Oh, there's one more. They don't mess around with these. They package them really well, which is one of those nice things. You know you're going to get a quality product and shipped well. And the shipping's only like $20 or something like that. It's not a lot. Some of the places the shipping is so crazy expensive. So we'll start off with our Bud-9s. Here's our two Bud-9 rootstocks. So what we're going to do with these is just basically snip the top and graft them over to a variety using my scions. Not sure which ones I'm going to do, but I got two of them because I'm just going to stick them in pots. But that's what the Bud-9 rootstock looks like. I have the blue pearmain we have in the ground is growing on Bud-9. It's a very dwarfing stock, so it's perfect for a container. It doesn't get huge, even in the ground. I can show that tree later. See the root structure on that is nice. So this is the green Gage Plum on Mariana GF81 rootstock. Not really sure. I'm not an expert in any sense on stone fruit. Like I said, I've never grown plums. This year I've got this green Gage, which I've eaten many times. It's delicious, very, very sweet. It sort of defies logic because you think a green plum, and yet it's one of the sweetest ones. So what we're going to do is, I've just got some of these containers that I use for brush and everything. I'm just going to set these. You don't want these to dry out, and I can't plant them for a few days. Like I said, tomorrow it's going to snow. Today it's pouring rain and 40 degrees, so not great conditions to plant these, but you know, they'll be totally fine. That's why you want to plant trees when they're dormant, because the tree doesn't really know the difference. It's just sleeping right now anyways, so it's not a big deal. We're just going to cover those in dirt after I put this other one, which is Harogem Apricot, which is a cold hardy apricot, bred for New York State, Northeast. I think it came from Canada originally. And look at the rootstock on these things. Cummins does a great job. Look, those roots are gorgeous. I mean, kind of see with my hand here. That's a giant root system for that tree. Really nice. A little bit of branching, which is good. A couple of ends broke off, not a big deal. Just prune those anyways. This is going to grow in a pot, this Harogem. Apricots, from what I've seen online, I've never done it, but I've seen it online, grow really well in pots. They don't get as big, at least not here in New York State. And here's our Bud-9s. So we're just going to set those in there. So here's a good view of the kind of like the sawdust mulch that they're packed in when they're shipped. Nice and moist, keeps the roots really moist. That's the big thing with bare root plants. You want to make sure the roots stay moist. That's the only real downfall, and that's easy enough to do. So here you can see I've sort of held them in with some potting mix. I'm just going to throw this mulch that came with them right on top. And they'll be totally fine out here in the garage. It's chilly out here. You know, it's an unheated garage attached to the house, so you know it's going to stay in the 30s. If it's 30 outside, it's pretty much the same temperature inside and here. But what's nice about that is it'll protect it from any harsh frost in the garage, but it'll keep it cold and dormant. So here's the forms of the trees. You can see the one on the left is the green Gage Plum. Nice shape. It's about 4.5 feet tall, maybe 5. The one on the right here is the Harogem Apricot, which is a very cold hardy apricot. And really, when we say cold hardy, what we really mean is it flowers really late. And for an apricot, apricots can flower in March, which that's the big issue in New York State where we live. You don't want that because then the frost will come. Yesterday it was 70 degrees. Tomorrow, April 1st of all days, you know, coincidence, maybe, maybe not, we're going to get about 6 inches of snow. And then on Saturday and Sunday it'll be back into the 60s. So around here, if you have a fruit like that apricot that flowers in March, you're never going to get fruit. So this Harogem, it's one of these kind of cold hardy varieties that were bred in, I think it was Canada actually. This one was bred in for the north and for cold areas. They bloom late. So for an apricot, this blooms on average in New York State around the end of April, which is pretty good to get a crop if you're outside 50 to 70% of the time. If it frosts, you still won't get the crop that year. It won't hurt the tree, but we're just talking about the fruit blossoms. So what I'm going to do is grow that one in a pot, a nice big container that I can just drag into the garage if it's going to frost and then put it back out. You know, it's really only an issue when you have flowers on the tree or baby fruit and it frosts. So it's an issue for, you know, a handful of weeks per year at the most. Some years it's never an issue. But I'm going to try it that way and see how it works. So thank you for watching. Another great purchase from Cummins Nursery in my book. I've always loved their stuff. As I said, we have over 30 fruit trees, and I would say 2/3 of them came from Cummins Nursery. They're a great source for apples, and that's really this is the first non-apple I've ever ordered from them, actually. But they have cherries, apples, apricots, peaches, pears, nectarines, you name it, pretty much they have it. So thank you for watching. If you enjoy our content, please subscribe for more videos and stay tuned for our video on where we plant these guys this weekend.